What is going on, MLB The Dynasty? It is the Commissioner Flex, bringing you another edition of the Fantasy Flex. Week 4's wrap up, Week 5's preview, Week 4's stats, the season, trophies, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Let's get into it. Shit, let me lower this damn song. It's a little too loud. Sorry about that, fellas. I don't have to yell like. Sorry about all them buzzings, James. That's just my mic when it blows down. But all right, let's get up into these standings. American division, you got the Rays at 3-1. Then you got the Yankees behind them at 2-1-1. He's half a game back in the division. The Tigers with the 2-2 record, 1 game back. The Brewers are 2-2. They're also 1 game back. The Dodgers are 1-2-1, a game and a half back. Now we move on up into the National League standings or the National Division standings. Those go a little something like this. We got a tie on the top with the Phillies and the Cardinals, both with 2-1-1 identical sporting records. Then you got the Mets right behind him, half a game back at a 2-2 record. Then you got the Braves 1-2-1. He's 1 game back in the division. Then you got the Giants still seeking their first win at 0-3-1. So it's been a tough outing for the matchup. Too bad that stats don't reflect real life, but that's why they call it fantasy. Now we go up into the matchups of Week 4. Last week's matchups, they went a little something like this. You had the Rays taking on the Yankees. Score on that one was 8-5-1. Yankees roll over on that one. The Giants taking on the Tigers. Score in this one was 13-0-1. Like I said, the Giants are still searching their first win. Last week really bummed out at the tank. They ran out of gas. I mean, they didn't even pick up 1 category, but they tied in 1, so that's good. Wasn't a clean sweep. Third matchup of the week, you had the Brewers taking on the Dodgers. Score on that one was 7-5-2 in favor of the Brewers. Brewers had a killer week last week, so, I mean, it reflected in the standings. Fourth matchup of the week, you got the Mets taking on the Braves. Another killer matchup. That was a squash. The Mets coming up on top of that one, 13-1. The Phillies took on the Cardinals, like I said last week. That was an 11-3 smash in favor of the Phillies. The Phillies also had an offensive week last week. If y'all didn't know, ask somebody, watch SportsCenter, turn on a TV. Week 5 preview goes a little something like this. I'll give you guys the matchup and the standings for that matchup. The 2-1-1 Yankees taking on the 2-2 Tigers. The 1-2-1 Braves are taking on the 1-2-1 Dodgers, so they both sport identical records, so one's trying to get up on the other. 2-1-1 Cardinals are taking on the 0-3-1 Giants, so it's a hard team for the Giants to seek their first win against, but let's see what happens. Then you got the 3-1 Rays taking on the 2-2 Brewers. The 2-1-1 Phillies taking on the 2-2 Mets in the final matchup of the week. And I'm going to give a shout out to Igor Berman for taking over the Tigers. I had a little problem last week. Had somebody take over the Tigers by Monday night. They quit on me, and I got this dude to replace it. Want to welcome Igor to the league. If that's not your name, I don't know, man. I'm just getting your name off of what it says in the members tab. But want to welcome you over to the league. And let me get over into the meat and potatoes of the show. Everybody's favorite part, the league leaders and the trophies for the week. What everybody works so hard to hear. It's still, I mean, a basic landslide in certain categories, but I'll run through them anyway. In the runs, you got the Phillies with 200 runs on the year so far through the first 4 weeks. Home runs, that's also going to the Phillies with 61 home runs. Extra base hits, the Phillies with 154 extra base hits. Total bases, the Phillies are taking that one also with 594 total bases. RBIs, all this is all going hand in hand. If you haven't heard me the last 4 times, I'm going to say it again. This one's going to the Philadelphia Phillies. Good looking there, Pops. I know you're having a hard time on the DL, but you're still looking good out there. Anyway, RBIs 199. So the man's got 200 runs and 199 RBIs through the first 4 weeks of the season. Now, if that's not fantasy, I don't know what is. Now we move on up to the stolen bases. That's going to the Mets, so we'll switch that up. He's got 43 stolen bases on the year, and the average, that's going to go to the Dodgers with a 293 average through the first 4 weeks. So that's good, consistent hitting for your team. Basically, all the hitting categories, I was like Grand Slam champ type style right there. Philly's taking almost every category except for average and stolen bases. And it's almost the same thing when we move over to the pitching here. Now we're gonna go up into the pitching standings. Goes like this: innings pitched, that's going to the Rays, 321. I don't think nobody's gonna catch him. His aces are staying on the mounds. Strikeouts, that's also going to the Rays. He's got 276 strikeouts through the first 4 weeks of the year. W's, wins, that's also going hand in hand. That goes to the Rays. So that, you know what I'm saying, that's a home run right there with those 3 stats. He's got 23 wins on the year. And if you want to keep going further down, I'll go down to the losses. The best team right now as far as losses, that's tied with the Yankees and the Phillies, both with 9 losses. So we're the best right now. Taking another category, if you want to say that, which also goes hand in hand with all the other ones. The Rays have the most losses on the year. They have 16. So doing your thing, getting your pitches out there, that's how it goes. Now ERA and WHIP, everybody know those go hand in hand. Those are both going to the Giants. The Giants got a 2.72 ERA on the year with a 1.14 WHIP on the year so far. And save and holds, that's going to the Yankees. I have 26 save holds on the year. So if you don't got a closer, man, go out there and sign somebody that gets holds. Sign yourself a good setup, man. And now we get up into the trophies. Trophies, it's going like this. This week, the I Get It In trophy, that's going to the Phillies, 53 runs. Going. For the home runs, that's going to the Mets. He had 17 home runs last week. The touch him up, that's for the most bases. We got a tie there. The Phillies and the Tigers both taking those trophies with 161 total bases on the week apiece. The Ribby trophy, that's going to the Tigers. So good looks on Igor taking over that team. It's not a hard team to take over. The Ribby, like I said, that's going to the Tigers. He's got 59 Ribbies on the year so far. The We Got a Runner, that's going to the Tigers last week. He's got 11 stolen bases on the week last week. Better than your average. We're going to switch it back over to the Phillies with a 320 average on the week. Now we get into the pitching categories. The You Can't See Me category, that's going for the most strikeouts on the week, or the trophy that's going for. That's going to the Rays. He has 73 strikeouts on the week. The Iron Horse, that's going to the Phillies. That's for the most innings pitched. He had 79 innings pitched. The top of the mountain, we got a split up here with the most wins. We had the Mets and the Cardinals, so we got 2 up on there with the top of the mountain trophy. Then we get the Get 'Em Out the Game trophy. That's the horse's ass. That's the most losses on the week. We also had a tie on there. You had the Braves and the Brewers, both with 6 losses each on the week. Now you got the Throwing Up Donuts. That's the best ERA, throwing up them zeros. That's going to the Dodgers. He had a 2.18 or a 2.18 ERA last week. And the last but not least trophy, the trophy that's worth the most points, the trophy that's bragging rights, the I Killed It trophy and the This Week's Stinker trophy, that goes for the matchup between the Tigers and the Giants. The Tigers killed it, 13-0-1. The Giants stunk. They didn't even pick up a category last week. They did manage to tie one, so it wasn't a clean sweep, but that's how that went. This is the Fantasy Flex. This was the Fantasy Flex. Tune in last week. You guys will get yourself another helping. I do this for y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for staying active. And I want, like I said, one more time, giving shout outs to Igor, giving shout outs to everybody staying active, everybody that's checking in. I got the poll out there for like 3 weeks now. I ain't trying to be a douche and replace anybody, but I'm checking. You know what I'm saying? I see y'all active out there. Least y'all can do is tune into the show and check the polls. But other than that, man, this is the Fantasy Flex. Flex is out. Have a good week. Good luck to everybody. And I'll see you guys next week. Shout outs.